This is not the answer that you're going to expect. Study liberal arts. Don't take a fashion merchandising course. Don't take a marketing course. Probably the most important course I ever took in college was a class that I think I got like a B- in. It was not my finest moment, but it was a philosophy class, and it was a reason and argument class. And what we had to do is we had to diagram out problem statements and arguments. And so ultimately, business models are the kind of culmination of taking a goal. What is your goal? For me, my goal was to make clothes that really fit well. And then you back into that. And so for us, backing into that was building our model. You literally start with this goal and you say, what do we want to do? And then you say, okay, so if we're going to want to do that, we're going to have to expand sizing systems. Sizing right now doesn't work. So how do we do that? So if you're going to do that in a non-cost prohibitive manner, that means you are likely going to have to make every garment to order. So then you say, if we're going to make every garment to order, what does that mean for us from a model standpoint? It means making things on demand. Do we make them in the US? Do we make them someplace else? Once you start to solve that problem, things click into place. And that's not to say that it's super easy, things click into place and it all happens, but you start to identify that model and what it looks like. And then you just have to work really, really hard to resource that model, to figure out, okay, we do want to make things in the US. Where are we going to do that? Who's going to make them? So I think that a lot of that is just critical thinking. It's logic, it's critical thinking. It's not getting ahead of yourself. It's not becoming an expert in any one thing. It's approaching specific problems from a big kind of void, saying, let's not look at anything else out there. If I'm an expert in nothing and all I can do is think about something, then kind of screen everything out, focus on your problem, and how would you solve it? In an ideal world, if you could have any resources you wanted, how would you solve that problem? Not how's it being solved today, how does the industry do it, but screen all that out. If it was just you and you're the first person on earth and you got to build an entire industry around your problem, what would it look like? How would you do it? And to me, in college, the things that taught me how to do that were liberal arts classes, classes that really taught me how to think flexibly, taught me how to think around problems, or showed me how people thought around problems. I took a lot of history classes. The cool thing about history is that you spend a lot of time learning how really cool, famous people at this point, how they did what they did. Why Winston Churchill thought the way he did, how he was an environment of his time and of his thinking, and how the culture and the technology around him formed his thought process. And so, part of it is just being in and of your time and realizing that ultimately the best skill you can have, no matter what you do, is the ability to think really critically and independently.